This is like the second Thursday in a row we've had an impromptu stream. Israel on Thursday announced it would deny Representative Omar, Democrat from Minnesota, and Rashida Tlaib, Democrat from Michigan, entry to the country during an upcoming overseas trip, according to multiple reports. The decision was announced moments after President Trump tweeted it would show great weakness for Israel to allow the two congresswomen into the country. The president has been an outspoken critic of both Omar and Tlaib, who last year became the first two Muslim women elected to Congress. The congresswomen have supported Palestinian rights. Ooh, how dare they! And backed the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, BDS, targeting Israel. Both have been accused by other members of Congress of using anti Semitic language, but leaders of both parties have said they should be allowed to visit Israel. Rubin says Trump was the one who banned them. No, 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 Rubin. He put out a tweet, and then right after, like not even 2 hours later, Israel announced it was banning him, or Netanyahu announced it rather, banning the two of them. So it's being basically positioned that his tweet influenced them to go through with it. They were already said to be considering it anyway. They're supposed to be going to some trip over there in the next few days, and apparently this was made public, um, and that's when Israel decided to do their business. Mm. I just think that when you consider all of the rhetoric that's been in place, right? So you have these idiots that are bought out by APAC, who anytime you say something about the government of Israel, they try to make it seem as if the government itself is Jewish, and that is some kind of just like just dumb stuff, right? But what I think is so creepy is that I remember that there were actual Trump supporters who during like prior to this session of Congress, right? Like before, when BDS wasn't really a thing that was getting talked that much about until Omar came around, they were able to see that that was a stupid way to respond to genuine criticism of human rights violations by Netanyahu's government, because some of them had actually, if they had followed politics before, they knew about the 2014 Gaza incidents. It's when you see things like that, and you know that people to some extent can comprehend uh, that certain critiques and labelings are dumb. Was this U.S. President Netanyahu is having second election this year? Yeah, Netanyahu might as well be the U.S. president. I mean, it's like anything he wants goes. And you're familiar with the fact, Ruben, that Netanyahu's been friends with Trump for literally decades, because Trump's father, Fred, was he met Netanyahu back in the I think it was the 80s, so they've known each other for a really, really, really long time. Um, I was expecting to get kind of pissed off, but I'm not really, because this doesn't surprise me. I actually don't think that tweet was as important as they claim it is, because Israel did the same thing to Chomsky, and all he did was talk about them, just like this. So basically, what is supposed to be one of the world's democracies is getting rid of people or not allowing them to come over there because they said something they didn't like. That would be different if someone made like a terroristic threat, like, oh, if I go to Israel, I'm gonna whatever. But we're talking about someone saying your government is crappy, which it is, just like the US government. They're both, garbage. And your response to that being, instead of to, if you want to respond, defend your policies or whatever, your response is, oh yeah, well you can't come over here. You're doing, Elliot. And this is actually new news, so your last name is very appropriate for this. It fits with the. I think this story just broke like maybe 20 minutes ago. It's brand new. I can't wait to see all the everybody going crazy. I really don't think this is that big of a deal now. Just the more you realize that the government is ran by a right winger who, a lot of these people like to complain about free speech being censored on social media. Well, hell, your own government is doing the exact same thing. But you won't see any of these. You know what the Trump supporters on Twitter are going to do, right? Oh, Israel got rid of them. Yay. Ha 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 ha. Splendora says more Israel stuff today. You look into the Epstein murder yet at this point. Suicide just isn't plausible at all. He had a short around his neck and leaned forward to suffocate himself and broke multiple bones. Yeah, it's sounding weird. I don't even. I mean, you gotta understand with me, it's just I don't deny that someone else did it or there was some kind of conspiracy with the guards or whatever to let someone else go in there or whatever. But it still doesn't matter as much to me as just all the other nonsense we're currently engulfed in. Ruben says, I'm not really bothered either. I personally would not have liked the idea of them going there in the first place. Yeah, someone actually said, isn't Israel like Omar's own kind of like North Korea, where it's ran by somebody that's hostile toward your perspective or positions, and what good thing. Basically, if she was like any other normal person, so a non-government official, and she went over there, there's a good chance they could have actually tried to inflict some physical harm on her. I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, remember, this is the same place where the prime minister, Yitzhak Rabin, was murdered for trying to have peace. So it's not too surprising that they're you go over there and then you wake up with an arm removed or something. Ruben says, go look up how Jeffrey Epstein got into power in the first place, and you'll see why people say he is Israeli intelligence. Well, I'll do this. I'll do that after stream. I was trying to do some more stuff on Syria because the last upload I put up for that ended up doing like 3 times better than I usually average like 20, 30 views. That thing got like almost 100. It was crazy. Whoa, what's going on here? Spandora says, Matt, I guess we have different priorities, lol. Israel banning Tlaib just doesn't seem significant to me, just my opinion, though. Well, again, the central point here is that two people who are members of Congress were banned not because they made a terroristic threat or something else that actually incited violence or whatever, because they expressed support for a group that is protesting Israel by not purchasing or doing business with them in any uh, sense of the word. That's why it's supposed to be significant that this follows a pattern of this supposed world democracy saying you can't come over here because you said something we don't like. Except instead of like Chomsky, where it's a private citizen who is high profile, it's literally lawmakers getting banned for saying something somebody didn't like. But I understand, Splendor. You still don't understand the weight of that. It's whatever to you. That's why when you look up the list of people who've been banned from there and you see Splendor Gaming written on there, maybe then you'll understand the consequence of getting rid of people for having a different opinion or whatever. This guy said that Netanyahu runs Israel like a Discord server where you get banned because you said. I love that they'll go on these servers and they'll put up all these different rules and then you don't violate any of them and you still get banned. Didn't didn't Ireland ban Trump for supporting Brexit though? I seem to recall something like that. I was like, man, when I heard that story true. Well, I think we can agree that Israel is considered a larger player on the world stage than Ireland. But the point is that if they banned him for saying something they didn't like, it's the same issue where, you know, like I said before, one of the things that kind of pisses me off is that you've had multiple stories this year about rhetoric, and I don't find it as important as actual actions that people take. So we had the thing with Steve King yesterday where They found some video of him talking about no one would be here if it weren't for rape and incest. It's like you get upset over that, but he's been saying dumb things for years. Why is this a news story? If there's a homeless person who pisses every day on the front lawn, am I going to just now decide tomorrow to start covering it? No, it's something that's been happening over and over again. Something that this person is known for doing. So that's the central point of what I'm trying to say here, that you have all this concern about rhetoric, but then no one, like you, I guarantee you go on Twitter right now and you're going to see a bunch of Trump supporters celebrating and cheering and, blah, 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 blah. But when you say to them, hey, wait a second, how do you feel about all these Palestinian citizens that have been murdered, you know, because they protested or said something that somebody didn't, oh, whatever. It's because they don't care. They'd rather get more outraged than whatnot over some comments, which they're made to hate because the person they want to cheerlead for says they're bad than something that somebody actually did. Oh, that's how they operate. Let me see. Oh, you guys don't say anything else. I was trying to make sure you were not writing something. I wasn't looking at it. Happened to Ruben. He just disappeared. Okay, tired and oh, Tlaib and Omar are horsemen of the apocalypse, though. They are a group of four after all. Yeah, they're gonna get rid of the other. Well, that's kind of what I was saying in the stream on Saturday. That you know the only reason that they don't go after that um, is it that like the reason that AOC is disliked by conservatives, whereas someone like Tulsi is liked by them, is because Tulsi, for example, doesn't speak that much about any domestic issues at all, whereas AOC just completely threw herself in the babbling about immigration, about impeachment, all this stuff that I just again when you say it, you already know you're going to piss off these conservatives because it's seen as inter-party stuff that you could literally take any Republican during I don't know the Obama era, and they would say they supported the opposite position of whatever the Democrats were doing. It's that kind of thing where it's not really seen as some kind of conviction, but just sort of I'm trying to not be the other person as much as possible. So that's their thing of why did they dislike her. Um, I don't know. Maybe you guys get what I'm saying. You might not. Ruben says, have any celebrities been banned from Israel for supporting BDS? Uh, not that I can think of. Let me look it up. Google is our great buddy here. There should be a list of people. Okay, this is from July of last year, and it is a list of organizations whose activists are banned from over there. So it's kind of similar. So I can go down to it. Okay, American Friends Service Committee, American Muslims for Palestine, Code Pink, Jewish Voice for Peace, National Students for Justice in Palestine, U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, BDS Chile, BDS South Africa, BDS National Committee, France Palestine Solidarity Association, BDS France, BDS Italy, the European Coordination of Committees and Associations for Palestine, Friends of Al Iqaza, Ireland Palestinian Solidarity Campaign. That's the one that Splendora is part of. The Palestine Committee of Norway, Palestine Solidarity Association of Sweden, Palestine Solidarity Campaign, War on Want, BDS campaign. So all those groups are banned. If you're a member of them, you're banned from going to Israel. You just don't know it yet. How would they be able to prove my membership? Like, unless I was the spokesman, how what tactics would they use to get the information on part of these groups? Ruben says AOC wants to be a big hot shot on Twitter. Yeah, she's typing all kind of stuff. Let me see if she typed anything right now. So I don't even go on there anymore because of what happened, and then last month, and then also how crappy it looks now with that new format. 17 hours ago. All right, so nothing new. But of course, she has something about Steve King. Got like two tweets about him. Told you she's all this domestic stuff that I don't even care about at all. Just it gets she puts like a magnifying glass under it and makes it the whole central focus. Nickelodeon has a Krusty Krab themed restaurant in Israel. Oh, well, I'll make sure to go over there and and get my honorary band at that location. That'd be really funny if I actually did a stream in Israel. Like they don't even know about. I'm so unknown. They don't know who I am. And I just go around there filming. Like, well, this is where we slaughtered the Palestinians for no reason, and this is where we blew a bunch of people up because we felt like it, and this is where we decided to be evil. Word created by the Roman Empire was the derogatory word for it, so the word was claimed by who took control. A bit of trivia for you. I didn't know Splendora thought I was so ignorant. Hey, we know that was you on that list. You might try to pretend, but we found out you're in Ireland. You're part of the BDS Ireland group, so you're also barred. I see now why you didn't care that much because you've already experienced the band hammer. When you read the headline that they had been banned from entering, you're like, been there, done that. What was Trump's tweet anyway? Let me go look at it. It was something stupid. He writes so much crap. I don't even care anymore. It would show great weakness if Israel allowed Representative Omar and Representative Tlaib to visit. They hate Israel and all. Here we go again, and all Jewish people, and there is nothing that can be said or done to change their minds. Minnesota and Michigan will have a hard time putting them back in office. They are a disgrace. I would love, like, after he says those two states would have a, because it's not the state, it's a district. Um, if if instead of like that actually being true, they end up becoming senator or governor, like this, the whole state elects them eventually to something else. Okay, Palestine as a word was equivalent to the oh well, if it's equivalent to the N word, how come the people that it was meant to be derogatory toward haven't put an A at the end of it and started using it on each other every day, and in songs and in movies and all the other formats? That should be a whole stream by itself. Just taking stuff that's supposed to be an embarrassment and a shame and trying to prop it up as something good. Well, they have a new poll in Wisconsin with Warren in first place, Sanders in second, the stupid mayor, Buda Trash in fourth place, and then Harris in fifth. I'm glad she got knocked to the back. Yeah, Ruben, they had a whole video together. I did it's one of the few tweets he's ever put out that I didn't like because I'm not and I try not to weigh into music, but I'm not a fan of hers. She's a I'm not gonna say it. Let's just say if that was me running for something and that person, you know how they disavow endorsements from people they don't want? I would do the exact same thing with that. Oh, then there was the 2 shooters who were leftists, but the media kept calling them. I thought the one in Texas was a Trump supporter or agreed with him or whatever. I know the one in Ohio liked, Warren, but are you sure you have that right, Splendora? Wait a second, don't tell me you've been paid by the RNC to plant false information in the chat room of this stream. We're on to you. You're getting outed and revealed and exposed and whatnot. We already found out that you're part of BDS Ireland. You have some kind of intra-country membership. I mean, I don't know what kind of sick world. Just to go back to what Ruben wrote, uh, yeah, it does suck that she's a fan of hers. I mean, like I said, if I was running for anything, I wouldn't be happy to take an endorsement from a former gang member, a stripper, uh, what else? Some other thing in here. Well, that's already enough. Let's just we'll leave it at that. Oh, and a person who wants to have beefs with random people for no reason. All those music beefs are dumb to me, man. It's just put the crap out and but like I really like the guys who do the mangas because usually they're friendly toward each other. Like the ones who did One Piece and Naruto, they considered each other like friendly rivals, but you didn't see them trying to like ever argue back and forth. It's just one of those things where it's like a mutual respect sort of deal going on. Everybody else is like in every other industry, it seems people are trying to have feuds for no reason. Neither of them were alt-right. The alt-right despises Ben Shapiro. Why would they quote him if they would ever do something like that? Man, I can't believe Splendora completely ignored my comment. The Texas one was online economically socialist and leaned toward the left. He targeted were not made public, but all I know is his economic was toward the left on the political spectrum. But we know part of the spectrum Splendor was part of. Him and his Ireland compatriots. Okay, Ruben says neither. Oh, I read that already. I like when it happens where I'll read something, then go up and then read that, and then make the mistake of reading the thing I read before again. I know Ruben's very happy because his hero, certain former Texas representative by the name of O'Rourke, or as he's called on Twitter, O'Dork, relaunched his campaign, and he was right. He's probably over there right now in El Paso. Hey, at least Hickenlooper got out, so that's good. Let's see, breakout song was a response to who tried to sideline his with BLM talking points. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. He had to use a whole group to attempt to get out of that. Mm. Trying to set up the topic for Saturday. So guess I have the live show at 6, and then we're gonna do one for that morning. I'm trying to think of what I can put up on that day. I was actually gonna release the you might have heard of this before, the video with the two chicks that like don't deserve to be parents or whatever. I was gonna put that one up today because I recorded the audio for it and drew the little goofy picture. But this happened, and I said, okay, well, I'll just you know save that for tomorrow, I guess. Until I see evidence to the contrary, the evidence that is available does not go with the narrative of him being right wing. At the very least, he is left wing in economics. Splendora person is right. There are a lot of contradictions with the two shootings. Hey, I'm gonna start calling him that Splendora person. That's my new nickname for him. Is that Ruben coined. So every time I say it, I have to like position my hand to resemble the C for the copyright in recognition that someone else made it. God, this is so dumb. I never thought I'd see the day where people are trying to take a tweet and go, "Oh yes, that was what changed everything." It's like every single message he puts out now is just a regurgitation of something that he's already said. Like he's been saying that they were anti-Semitic for months. So what exactly does like this one tweet was? It's getting its value overstated. But people like to find something to blame. So they keep playing that game. And like I said, the way this stuff currently works is that the right wing can pretty much, and I guess the left wing as well, they can say whatever they want about someone, and then you just have to kind of put up with it. Like how they smeared Tulsi as like loving Assad or whatever. Just stuff like that where you can't fight against it because people are too stupid to do the research attached to it, or if they're not that, they just want to be part of something, so they go along with a claim that someone made about a person without actually looking into doing any independent research. They don't care about that. It's funny how people say that they don't trust politicians, and like Congress has this really itty bitty approval rating, but then, let some Congress members say something, and people are doing this, and then they're always reelecting them. So how true is that? Anyway, do you plan on running your outro today when you finish, or do you have people around again? Yeah, people around. Yeah, Pandora. I can't have that thing just blasting out and everybody can hear it. We're trying to have some peace. You could set off an incident with that. Well, why would you play something of that nature? I like how Splendora's not even. That's how you know he's bored because he's like, so when's the outro coming? Like, well, hell, enjoy the actual the monologue or whatever ahead of the outro. He's so tired. He's like, man, I came for this, and I got someone making a conspiracy theory about me. That's the full extent of his powers. Kodak Black pulled an OJ. Oh, you mean he was innocent? Dude, you can literally tell some people all of the evidence pertains to that case, and they'll still be convinced he was just this like darling angel who, the only dumb thing he ever did aside from murdering two people, was write a book in which he described how he would murder two people because we all know innocent people do that. Ed Ward is honest politician, college humor. Oh, oh, that he only got arrested because of his. Yeah, I'm so sick of that man. Not that man, not him specifically, but just that. And I said man at the end of it, in terms of my annoyance. They create all kind of little theories in their heads. I really wish I could do like a if it wasn't a documentary, it could be some kind of like with the Assad thing where it's a really basic, um, kind of condensed version of like what's happened with them in the U.S. Since the younger one took over. I want to do something like that for Israel because a lot of times when you just say human rights violations, people don't get it. Like with the Yemen conflict, where I was able to say that 85,000 children have died over there. That's at least a number that you specifically can say that people can go, okay, well that number is how many people have been murdered. With Israel, I couldn't give you a number. I just know it's been thousands. Uh, but again, I'd like to be able to recite different instances of that happening and whatnot. So, mm. All right, anyone have anything else left to contribute, add, speculate, stipulate? I know that our Splendora was looking forward to the outro. He he, he won't smile today uh, because of that. Where Ruben says not anymore. Well, you don't have anything to say, or what do you mean not anymore? I'm a little confused. You need to elaborate. You need to clarify your previous comments, sir. Mm. It would be funny to go over to. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Ruben says he's done. We have three other people who. I mean, speak now or forever hold your peace, or at least until Saturday. Um. Yeah, and then Yahoo's crazy, but like all these guys, and this is why I don't like modern politics because it seems like on both sides it's just whatever the person who is the de facto leader of my group says I must go along with, or I'm, gonna like be ostracized or something. And it's really weird because, all these crybabies that are Trump supporters, they don't care about Israel. They don't, if they did, they would actually know its prime ministers other than Netanyahu and the various other numerously various other historical events that are tied to it. They just get behind Trump and then decide to demonize whoever he says is bad. Uh, I just think we have no reason to get involved with Israel. If we are to get involved anywhere, let it be Hong Kong. Yeah, at least the people over there seem to get how crappy it is. But and then you saw that Trump got in trouble because he wouldn't stand with the people. He was like being neutral. I care about Hong Kong more than I care about Israel. I care about Israel because they're taking. Well, first of all, their government is garbage. That's the principal reason. They treat their own people, I guess, kind of decently from what I've heard. But like when you've got a government that kills innocent people and then we're giving it billions of dollars every year, like that's stupid to me. So my concern is because we're tied up over there. That's if we stop giving them aid for again no reason, um, I wouldn't care either. And if they stop, doing their little massacre thing, but hell, you say, hey, maybe we should have some of those Palestinians immigrate over here. Oh my God, you're trying to replace us. So, it's kind of just one way or the other, you're screwed pretty much. The nativists come out in full effect. Did you hear of what's happened? Yeah, the protest. Splendora, I'm aware. If you want to talk about this in a separate stream, I can do that. But I don't know if you what your full intent with that is. Because I have no problem sitting here and discussing that thing at length. But again, I want to actually have the information lined up ahead of doing it, which is why I said, would you want to see it in a separate one? So I asked these questions because I want to clarify and know what I'm talking about. Westmondor not even type anything back. He's like so rattled now. It's like I was just asking a question. And he would get pissed off with pretty much everything I say. Like that's why they don't seem to get that now Trump doesn't even care what he says anymore because it's like you say it in a prepared way, they get pissed. You say it in the you know unscripted way, they get pissed. So why even bother? And my whole thing is it's stupid that they even get that upset over rhetoric in the first place. God, you got all these different environmental regulations getting ripped away, along with the continued bombing of 7 countries and continued blind support for Israel for the most part. And you want to whine about some words. Same thing with the Israeli government. They're over here crying about what some Congress members had to say about them. Like they're the first ones who ever did that. Okay, yeah, I think we should let all people in Hong Kong immigrate and give them the city. It wouldn't have offenses on the road issue then. LOL. Uh, I mean, again, like all I'm saying is, why is everybody keep picking California? Damn, always this state they want to screw with. Let's stick everybody over there. Again, if Pelosi didn't tie herself up on the immigration stuff, we wouldn't be the epicenter of like the all the little remarks about where they can go and whatnot. So, uh, I guess I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. And don't say anything about Netanyahu or Israel. You will be banned.